Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another review on a Headliners player, Headliners Rafinha. This card came out just recently, so we're going to do a review on the card, his details, his stats, his traits, some clips of them on our usual summary at the end. But before we get into all of that, I ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know I upload, and comment down below what your thoughts are on this card and who you would like me to review next. I've got some on the list. There will be a 92 KDB review coming and a Prime Rivaldo review coming. Those were requests from comments, so please do chuck some more suggestions down below and I will try and get them done. Without further ado, let's get into the review. 84 Headliners Rafinha. Now, this is the team I played him in, guys. I played him at the number 10 slot. Absolutely hated him there. Did not fit in well. And just to preface this, guys, I do not dislike Rafinha. In fact, Rafinha in real life is one of my favorite players to watch along with Thiago. I love the way those two play. A real shame they never got to do it together at Barcelona often enough. But I love Rafinha in real life. This card does not play well for me in the cam position, so I switched him to a defensive midfield position, played him deeper in midfield, and between a CM position as well. CM seems to be his best slot, but that's only because he can't really hold his own at the attack midfield position, nor can he hold his own in the defensive midfield position. He's kind of a link-up player, someone you'd use in that midfield to kind of fill the gap, bridge between your DM and your attack mid, or your strikers and your wingers. So for that reason, I flicked him in between those two positions. That's where he seemed to fit in most. Overall, before we get into everything, guys, I did not enjoy using this card. I've only used him for 3 games and I gave up using him. Just not a fun card for me, guys, and the price reflects that. And there's a lot of players you could get for the value that he is. He would need a couple of upgrades for me before he becomes usable in a good way. Getting into some of the details, guys. 5'9", high medium work rates, left-footed, 4-star swim is 4-star weak foot, 3 games, 2 assists for me. So on the face of it, not ideal for a DM, of course, because of the high medium work rates. Unfortunately, not suited to an attacking midfield because 1, his pace isn't good enough, and 2, his shooting is not good enough in general as well. He doesn't move as fluidly as I would like for a cam. He is much more suited to holding the ball up, creating space, and then pinging off a good pass. That's really where he starts to shine. The 4-star swim is 4-star weak foot is fantastic, but again, overall on this card, I think it still needs 1 or 2 upgrades before it becomes really usable. Getting into the details, he's of course a Brazilian from Liga and plays for PSG, so you've got some nice linkability options in there. Of course, the obvious one is Neymar and Marquinhos. We'll get into that a bit later as well. Attribute details, guys, the key ones here, the key cons: his acceleration, 75 isn't good enough. His stamina is 67. That is the biggest one. So in any portion of the midfield, whether it's attacking mid, central mid, or defensive midfield, you need energy, you need legs in there. He's not good enough for that. And for that reason as well, I absolutely hated using this card towards the end of the game. He was just gone. Real non-factor in the team. And although his work rates say high medium, he's very lazy on the defensive end. And on the attacking end, he takes up weird positioning, which you will see in the clips as well. I'll describe that through as well, where he holds back a little bit, plays a lot deeper than you would like him to as well. Pros of this card, guys. Of course, his passing is fantastic. His short passing is really good. His long passing is better than the card would suggest. 83 is not true reflection of his long passing. He played a lot of nice long passes for me. His dribbling is good, but as I said, it's not good enough to be an attacking mid. It's good enough to be a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder, but then of course you're messed up by the work rates as well. Finally, getting to the player traits. Injury prone flair, playmaker trait, and technical dribbler. So again, he plays more of a conductor role, but he's not good enough to hold down the midfield to be able to just leave him in there and control that midfield. If he loses the ball, you can't get it back with him very easily. It's quite tough to actually maneuver with this player in tight situations like an attacking midfielder. So really, you're struggling with this card, where to position it. It needs those upgrades, again, to get a little bit better. Now that we've gone through the basic details of the card, let's get into some of the clips that I've got with him. So guys, getting some of Rafinha's clips now, and you can see here, the positioning here that he takes up is kind of deep. He holds that position, then he doesn't tend to drive forward. And this is him at the cam slot. Ideally, I want him to be getting forward there and to try to create chances for me. Again, what I'm going to show you for the most part is his dribbling and his passing. You can see here now, again, this is him at the number 10 slot. I'm dragging him forward. Now, when you do this and you take the ball forward with him, his dribbling is decent. I mean, it's not like it's unusable at the cam slot, but the rest of his game is not good enough to complement him to be good in that cam slot, if that makes sense. He doesn't play like a proper cam shooter. He holds his position really back there. That's one of the few times he actually made a driving run forward, and it wasn't strong enough. He didn't commit enough in that run as well. So I switched him to the defensive midfield position, and that is where you will get the most success with him, or the CM position. Here, guys, you can see him. You're able to play the ball out to him and then pick out passes pick out runs that players make to create good chances for yourself. Again, good dribbling around here, and you can create a chance there. Unlucky with the cross there not to get an assist. Again here, picking up the ball deep, and look at that for a ball. That's an absolutely beautiful ball. That's where you'll have the most success in just picking out those passes and trying to create chances with him as well. Again here, when you're deep with the ball, you don't have to give it up straight away. You can dribble around a bit and pick out a pass. And again, beautiful ball. And this is kind of where I used him more so towards the inclusion of the second 2 games, was that I started playing him deeper, using him to pick out those passes to keep the ball turning over, because his positioning was such that he liked to hold back. Although his attacking work rate says high, he does not move up the pitch like a high attacking work rate. You need to use him in other ways to get the best out of him. Again here, you can see the dribbling, wins a nice free kick there as well. And you'll see, guys, a lot of these clips, there's not a lot happening in them. Unfortunately, he didn't really do much for me in the games. So I had to pick out these clips from what I had. Again, a lovely shot there, but just not quite good enough to get into the goal. Again here, lovely little bit of dribbling there. Hold the ball up, hold the ball up. Again, splice the defenders there, and we've got a lovely play out here, which he plays a beautiful ball out to Iron Robin there as well. So guys, getting into the final Rafinha summary. I know this one was a short one, guys. I didn't really get many clips of it, and because I hated using this player so much, I just had to cut it short. Only 3 games played, 2 assists, 38k on the PlayStation and the Xbox. Again, the key ones for me are his passing and his dribbling, the key stats there. In terms of a deep playmaker, that's what he can really do best. Stamina is such a drawback, guys. He needs better stamina. I hope that they give him that with the upgrades to the cards. He might end up only like 72, 73 stamina with a couple of upgrades, in which case it really still isn't a usable card given the time of year that we're getting to now. I think he needs to be better than that. I put the Catalyst on him as the best chemistry style. You want to boost that passing a little more. Or maybe a Shadow would help him as well. Maybe something to boost his physicality, get that stamina up would be the best way to go with him. But honestly, guys, if I'm giving you a recommendation about this card, and I'm just going to skip straight to it before it gets to the links and stuff, is that don't buy this card. If he does get a couple of upgrades, then I will do a re-review on him to give you guys a description of what he plays like. But overall for me, just not good enough, guys. I put him similar to Modric, but actually Luka Modric is a lot better of a player. Modric is much easier to move around with as well. This Rafinha card just wasn't really good at any position. He couldn't really hold down anything there. In terms of linkability, you got some great linkability, which is the sad thing, because you could link him to Marquinhos and Neymar, really create a nice triangle in your team, and then lock off that section. You don't have to worry about creating good chemistry with those players. Value for money, enjoyment, stats rating. I didn't rate this card at all, guys. Do not buy it. Ignore it until the upgrades come out. As you guys can see as well, the key cons, I just put poor overall. That's just what I thought of this card in general. Hope you guys did enjoy the review, and if you did, please do smash that like button. And until next time, I will see you all in a bit.